Test. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, Lucky Sill. It's just part of the editing software that I bought. Yeah. Well, I mean that's good because like it's realistic. But yeah, it's not your phone. So thanks, Jose P. Tennis, Paris Brothers. Aren't you asleep yet? You said you're sleeping. Hey, PGM21. Today was tricep day and a little bit of leg day that I haven't done in about a week and a half. The leg day was actually kind of surprising. And from your tip about, I did lower the weights initially for the close grip bench press, and it definitely worked. I don't have any rubber bands I could tie around myself to help that. I just lowered the weights, and I did skull crushers today. You know, this one when you're laying down on a bench, and it really worked. So PGM21, the secret for the skull crushers for me is, so in order for me to keep my elbow in, I have to grip the bar and apply the pressure at certain parts of my hand a certain way to really close that and really engage the tricep. So that's one of the things I figured out as someone that doesn't do too much upper body exercises. So as you said, it's completely different for everybody. So thank you for the closed bar bench press tip. Yeah, Bill Bong. Apparently, I am a 4-5. Spencer Moon, get the right coaching. And you can get the right coaching by saving money on tennis strings. Looking at some of my recommendations for tennis strings and polyesters on my channel. And, you know, help the community and become a better tennis player and get in shape and get to my level. And in fact, I want everybody on the stream to be able to beat me at some point in their life. Back today, nice. And the great Scott Brody has joined the chat as well. Yeah, Joseph Bautista. Yeah, it was a hard-hitting match. Like, that's why when I was thinking after, I think, the second or third game, I'm like, okay, I'm going to change up the pace against Ridley very well by, like, getting him in a nice rhythm because, obviously, he likes to hit a heavy ball from the baseline because he's an aggressive baseliner. But it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get him to a rhythm, have, like, a false sense of security, like, okay, we're just going to bang the ball, we're going to bang the ball, and then I'm just going to throw in just a filthy backhand slice or even a forehand slice if I get stretched out wide on the right side of the court. So, and apparently it worked pretty well. No, Jose P, I'm not good enough to do an ITF futures event. It's the craziest thing, right? Actually, I don't know why I have headphones on because I'm just listening to music. So when it comes to ITF futures events, and Scott Brody can chime in on this, I'm a good hitting partner for those types of people. But as soon as you throw in a serve and a return into the mix of like point play against like, I'm talking like 12 or 13 UTRs, people like me, even if I'm in really good shape, you could argue I'm a 10 UTR. If I'm in a really good day, if I'm training my ass off, you could argue I could be a 10 UTR based on my ground stroke, my footwork, and defensive skills. But as soon as you throw in a serve and return, an 11.5 or a 12 UTR would just completely wipe the floor in a tennis match, in an actual tennis match against someone like me, even if I'm in the best shape of my life. Yeah, because like here's the thing, and some people were talking about me doing like a slightly different type of content, not like instructional, but more like strategy, which I'm heavily considering. But the greatest thing holding me back is time, because again, I'm a full-time software developer, and I even talked to my boss, who is actually a year younger than me, and I actually hired him at the company because I hired him, and then I left, and then I got cut from a job because of COVID. So I was wondering if they needed more help at that old company, and he so happened to become the manager. And I'm actually, I'm not only, is he co-workers with me, but he's also a good friend of mine. I'm invited to his wedding. And he's a super smart guy, very easy to talk to, typical, like, software developer, kind of nerdy, kind of awkward, and I love him to death. But it's one of those things I told him, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how much trend I've been coming along ever since I started this YouTube channel. And I'm so grateful for you guys, from all the input, all the criticism, but most of all, how much I've connected other people with each other, not only across the country, but across the globe. And obviously I have a lot to thank for with Scott Brody, with people like Alex, with other original content creators like Acing Tennis, and obviously Essential Tennis, who definitely helped me kind of get inspired for this path. It's just one of those things, like, I can't wait to actually break down the cost benefit analysis, the time analysis of, like, is this worth the risk of going YouTube full time? And eventually I want to get there, and my boss does know that. So that's why I'm saying it out loud, because it's not a secret. It's just I got to work my butt off to be able to, balance between, training for tennis, being a full-time employee, coaching tennis, stringing, and doing YouTube stuff. Because YouTube right now has tennis string reviews, match play, kind of like how-to tutorials, and I'm still doing some stuff on tennis string, like, tying knots and being a better tennis stringer, especially the crosses. But now people are asking for, tennis strategies, and I'm like, I think that's a good one. That is a good one. I just got to find time to do it. Yeah, Chilisac Silva. Yeah, actually, more pros are doing that now. Federer, for example, I believe he uses either NXT or Natty Gut on the mains, and I think Luxlon Alu Rough 17 gauge on the crosses. And I believe Djokovic has a similar setup. It's like, I tried it a few times and I actually really like it. The issue is, though, with just like with any type of hybrid, it's gonna snap faster than a full poly, but also it's actually gonna snap faster than a hybrid of putting a poly on the main and a multi-filament / softer string on the crosses. And it's a good try, but you're going to be snapping strings very, very quickly. So, again, I would say try it out just once and see how you like it, and then, see if it's worth the lack of durability compared to a normal hybrid setup. Yeah, Tennis Paris, in the Americas, you would be rated around a 4 or 5 with a UTR of 8. So that's obviously, given your name, you're definitely not in the States. But that's kind of like the rough translation, which obviously isn't perfect, but it's not because of the UTR's fault. It's because the USTA system of NTRP rating is so archaic and so garbage, which I'm, again, still thinking about doing an analysis video on it. Hell, I might bring Scott Brody in to kind of do some research for me and, feature him in the video, to, kind of like really, really break down why the NTRP system is being used and why it's still being used in a negative way. And a lot of people are saying it shouldn't be. And I would 90% agree with that statement. It should not be being used for anyone that is 18 or over. Oh yeah, there's literally, and I'm not going to say any names, there's literally a 15-year-old girl in Wisconsin, a 15-year-old girl. So keep in mind, I've been playing tennis longer than she's been alive. Every time I play her, it's like 6'3", 6'2". I think the closest match I've had with her is 7'4", 6'3". And I was trying my best, and it was in the summer, so I was in really good shape. But also keep in mind, I think she's number 600 in the world right now for WTA. Your bedroom punk, I believe those people are idiots. Because if you take a look at people with the best, most solid two-handers in the world, even someone like Djokovic, when he's in panic mode, especially stretch on the left side on the baseline, he will slice. And keep in mind, Djokovic has one of the most solid ground stroke games and one of the most solid backhand wings in the world, right? But, even with a backhand slice that's not nearly as effective as a Grigor Dimitrov or an Andy Murray or Roger Federer, a decent backhand slice will buy you time to get into the court. The counter play to a backhand slice that your opponent is doing is coming into the net. But in the world of men's tennis and even women's tennis on the pro level, not many people go into the net. So, they let the ball drop. It's going to stay low. And it buys the person time to get back somewhere near the center of the baseline to kind of reset the point. Oh, Scott Brody's still working. Okay, I didn't know. Scott Brody literally works at a club about less than 10 minutes away from where I live. Thanks, Sam's Brothers. Hayden Moyer, for an 18 by 20 compared to, let's say, a 16 by 19, which is what most rackets use right now. If you're using the same string setup as a 16 by 19, string it at a lower tension by about 5 pounds more. Because an 18 by 20, it's going to give you a lot more control, especially for the slice and especially for flattening out shots. But you're not going to get nearly as much natural power because, assuming all things are the same, an 18 by 20 string is going to have less area. It's going to be a tighter string pattern. There's going to be more string on the racket than a 16 by 19. Therefore, more string on the racket equals less power. So string it about 5 pounds looser than you would with the same setup as a 16 by 19, assuming it's the same racket and the same strings. I'm anywhere between 5'8" and 5'9", Jose P. When people see me on camera, I don't know if it's because I stand up straight because I kind of had to growing up, given I was smaller for my age, and I still am to an extent. People don't think I'm nearly as short as I actually am. And 5'8", 5'9" for an American male really isn't that short, and for a Filipino male, it's actually somewhat tall. But it's yeah, I'm on the shorter side when it comes to tennis. So, obviously I don't have a huge serve. I served, I think, 1 ace in the last 2 matches, the match against Ridley and the match against Christian in my last play at Essential Tennis. So, I have to rely on consistency. I have to rely on changes of pace. I have to rely on footwork. I have to rely on other things other than a huge serve. Yeah, Tennis Brothers, I'd love to do an analysis on any video that you're willing to send to me. Assuming, I have time, I'd be more than happy to. Oh yeah, Rainier Tennis. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Lollyboy, play more UTR events or even USTA, I guess, sanctioned tournaments that feed into UTR. But I know, given the world pandemic right now and everything that's going on, that might be out of your control. I haven't, just like many people between the ages of, I would say, 16 to, I would say, actually, anyone, I haven't played nearly as many tournaments as I did in, 2019. So as soon as things start to open up, as soon as things start to get a little bit more normalized, yeah, play UTR tournaments, play USTA tournaments. But in the meanwhile, do as much as you can, man. I know everybody's situation is different, so I'm not saying that you have to do this, you have to do this, but again, do the best you can given the resources that are given to you, given the resources at your disposal. Thanks, Darren LeBeau. Oh yeah, your bedroom punk. Look at David Ferrer, Diego Schwartzman. So I think David Ferrer, that Spanish tennis player that retired relatively recently, he was a veteran on court. He's always been in the top 10, and he just doesn't miss from the baseline. I think he's listed at... Let me take a look. So David Ferrer is listed at 5'9". I personally think he's more like 5'7". Again, that's a camera angle. I haven't seen him in person, but I think based on his height that's listed and the people that he plays against and seeing them, you know, shoulder to shoulder, I don't think he's 5'9". I think he's more like 5'7". And keep in mind, he was a perennial top 10. So Diego Schwartzman, I've never seen him in person, but I've had kids that I still coach see him in person. And people are saying that there's no way in hell Diego Schwartzman is 5'7". Diego Schwartzman is more like 5'5" to 5'6", right? And then Yoshihito Nishioka. Yeah, there's no way this guy's 5'7". He's definitely more like 5'5". Look at that forehand grip. So he's about to hit a forehand, right? That is so Western. That's like Hawaiian grip. Oh my god. It's nuts. Yeah, he's like 5'5" or 5'6" at the best. Lucky still, just play as much as you can beforehand. That's my advice. Jero Stone Cold, try the Vocal Cyclone. It's gear shaped, but it does last a fairly long time. But it's pretty dead feeling, and it's not even though it's gear shaped, it's really not shaped, but it's still a damn good string. Another good alternative to that is the Yonex Polytour Pro. If it wasn't for the price, the Yonex Polytour Pro is, in my opinion, the best poly I've ever tested on my channel so far. And if you want to go really cheap, try the ISOSpeed baseline control. That doesn't break too often either. And the ISOSpeed baseline control, as of now, that I've tested, is the most consumer-friendly polyester I've reviewed so far. And it is because it's $40 a reel, and I would say it's like just a little bit better in every aspect than the Babolat RPM Blast, which is 8.5 times more expensive. Yeah, that's Hawaiian. It's continental, but, you know, reverse grip. It's nuts. I don't know how his forearm just didn't, like, slide off the bone. It's disgusting. Oh, yeah, right in your tennis. It's just serve bots, right? Like, ace, 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 ace. Oh, forehand. Ace, 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 ace. Yeah. Oh, you know how much money I would pay to be front row with as much beer as I can and liquor, like an open bar, if it was Isner versus Dr. Evo? Does that match exist? Oh my god, it doesn't exist. Yeah, there is a Riley Opelka versus John Isner, but I can't play it right now because Australian Open TV is gonna copyright strike me. So, but that match does exist. Just go on YouTube and type in Opelka Isner. It's a round one of the 2019 Australian Open. The first tennis racket I played, that I remember, I believe it was the Prince Thundercloud back then, when Prince actually made good tennis rackets. Yeah, it was the Prince Thundercloud, and I think I went to, because I was actually nationally ranked as a junior. because I had good hands and I was quick. I just wasn't in good shape. Prince Thundercloud, and then the head Radical Mid Plus. It was probably oversized. Head Radical Mid Plus. It was like the... let's see. Does anybody else remember this racket? Because that was the racket I remember most. At my quote-unquote prime of being a nationally ranked junior. Yeah, it was obviously strung with all multi-filaments and soft strings because, you know, I was maybe 60 pounds. Little Filipino kid just running around the court left and right with a two-handed backhand. That's probably why I kind of dropped off in rankings. But yeah, that's what I played with. That was like the most memorable thing to me when I was growing up. Those were the days. Just after school, your parents would pick you up from school at like 3:30 and then drive you to tennis practice. And an hour and a half later, you'd go into your mom or dad's car, go home, do some homework after you shower, eat dinner, and then go to bed after watching some cartoons. Man. Yeah, I guess that's how people grow up, right, guys? It's nuts. Jero Stone Cold, the ISO speed, I think it does last longer than a typical polyester. That's my opinion. Lollyboy, for a good poly for aggressive baseliner and big serve, try either the Solinco Hyper G at a significantly lower tension or the Solinco Confidential at a slightly lower tension than you're used to. Try those. Oh, thanks, Lollyboy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm working hard, and apparently, oh yeah, Zach Brown. Have I seen Evo's Twitter? Absolutely. That guy is freaking hilarious. Let me bring something up. So honestly, if I were to ever get famous somehow, I think, and if I ever had a Twitter, I would do something similar to Ivo Karlovic. Because that's funny. Obviously, it's not like super insulting, but you know, it's slightly offensive. I mean, like, Sam obviously threw some shade at Ivo Karlovic. Ivo Karlovic is gonna throw some shade back. Why not? And like, obviously, you know, let's see, I'm at 2,500 subs or whatever, which is fantastic. I've gotten shade thrown at me before. And here's the thing. I've been bullied so much growing up because people thought I had a speech impediment because English was my second language and I wasn't learning fast enough until around 7th or 8th grade. I started to pick up the English language fairly efficiently. And now I like to think that I speak English properly from Midwestern America. And don't get me wrong, kids are also nasty as hell too. The kids, at least the kids I grew up with, evil creatures. So I have to deal with that. So like when someone throws shade at me, even if it's like super personal, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. I don't care what you think. I'm just gonna live my life. So even some of the negative comments that I've been getting recently, And it's not as much as you think, but there are some, like people are saying, I remember this one guy saying that your reviews are terrible. I'm like, okay, then don't watch my videos. It's as simple as that. You don't like my personality? That's fine. I'm not for everybody. I'm not gonna bend my personality. I'm not gonna change something for you just for you. I'll change to make my stuff better, to make my goal of having a well-informed YouTube community, especially when it comes to tennis strings and possibly even coaching if I ever get into that. I'm willing to change those things, but the overall arching theme of changing one thing or changing the way I present things in a sort of like kind of like raw manner, because I'm slightly professional, but I'll drop a few swears every now and then. I don't think I'm ever going to change that. And yeah, some sponsors might not like that. I don't care. It's money. I don't do this for the money. I do this because I care about it. I'm passionate about it. I'm learning really cool things, and mostly I get to connect with you guys. That's why I'm doing this. Sorry for that. I went on a rant. Your Bedroom Punk, the Spanish are so good at tennis because they're nuts in a good way, and they're exposed to rallying on clay with these incredibly long rallies, and they're just in such phenomenal shape. And in European culture in general, I would assume specifically Spanish, tennis is like the premier sport, especially in singles. Tennis is like the premier sport. When it comes to the Americas, especially, you know, the USA, it's football, basketball, a little bit of baseball. So it's a different culture. That's what they prize most when it comes to sports in their culture. Crime and Daniel, if you want to try a dry one, try the Pro Turner Grip, the dry one. That's what I use. I actually really like it. I was surprised I really liked it because I've always used like the Wilson Supreme or the Yonex Supreme overgrip that has, you know, has a grip on it. The only issue is with a Turner, even though it feels nice, especially for a leather grip underneath it, it's it only lasts for me like about a set and a half. And keep in mind, my hands are pretty jacked up with all the calluses from working, you know, with tennis strings all day at my part-time job and playing a lot of tennis. So keep that in mind. Lollyboy, you saying, honestly, I feel like I should be at 100K or maybe 200K. Thank you. I'm hoping to aspire to that one day. And, you know, after I get to a certain milestone, let's say, yeah, I definitely will quit my full-time job and, you know, hopefully travel the US and travel, you know, all over the world, in Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia. I don't think there's anything in Antarctica. But travel the US and travel the world and just kind of like, you know, see how different cultures kind of approach not only tennis, but also the lifestyle of sports in general. But I got to get to a certain level for me to be able to, you know, kind of live that dream even for only like 6 months. But yeah, I'm spending about 20-25 hours a week on top of everything I do, doing YouTube stuff. So don't get me wrong, I'm working there. I'm not trying to have you guys like, I don't want you guys to throw money at me. If you feel like I deserve some money on Super Chat, go ahead. But it's going to be put towards my string budget that I review for you guys. But again, as I said, money really isn't too big of an issue for me. You know, I'll pick up a few lessons here and there to supplement, you know, buying a nice lens or buying some programs for better editing. But at the end of the day, it just takes time. And, you know, I'm working there. And I think I am headed the right direction given how much traction I've gotten recently. And I think I'm doing a decent job at it. Not gonna lie, Lollyboy. I don't miss Sharapova. I don't. Nathan G, as a beginner, don't try poly. That is my honest opinion. Try something very, very soft because I don't want you to get injured. Kick. Almost always kick David Liu. If I'm up a break in a set, and I'm serving up 40 love, and I miss my first serve, I'll hit a slice or a flat second serve just because I'm up. You know, why not? But in a competitive setting, in a setting that's, you know, relatively close, I always do a kick serve for a second serve. Right now, my go-to racket of choice, Lollyboy, is the Yonex E-Zone 98. It's a damn good one. I am getting some slight forearm irritation. It's not like super bad, but it just hasn't gone away recently. It did get better after I took 3 days off of tennis and just lifted. It kind of rested because my body has been through a lot. I'm thinking about demoing the Yonex V-Core 98, the new one, the red one. I'm thinking about it. At least I'll probably demo it in the next month or two and see what it's like, especially if I get that stimulus check from the U.S. federal government, depending on how that goes. And I'm fine if I don't get it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to talk about politics and, you know, what they should or shouldn't do. That's not what this platform is for, nor will I probably ever talk about politics in a serious manner. But it's yeah, it's on the radar. I'm always thinking about switching rackets, but it is a lot more expensive than switching tennis strings. Your bedroom punk. The Yonex V-Core 97-330 is what Christian uses, and Christian puts lead tape on it. It is a nice feeling racket, but I cannot swing that racket for a full match in an effective manner. I'm not strong enough. Also, Karaiman Daniel, the Wilson Overgrip, another downside is that it's actually really expensive. A good alternative to the Wilson Overgrip is the Gamma Supreme Tacky Overgrip. It's similar, I would actually say it's better than the Wilson Overgrip, and it's a little bit cheaper as well. So if you can, on your whatever website you buy your stuff from, try that if you want to save some money. What's up, Crazy Loco? Yeah, Crazy Loco. I was like, yeah, this guy looks familiar on Instagram. Like, are you Crazy Loco on my live stream? Yeah, he is. How you doing, my man? Absolutely. Unless you're as strong as Ridley or Christian, or you used to be a bodybuilder in your past life, the ProStaff 97 RF is way too heavy for mere mortals. You have to be an absolute Chad in order to swing that effectively in a competitive setting. Well, Lollyboy, I've had stiffer rackets. I've played with a pure arrow for a bit, the pure drive for a bit. I never got elbow problems or forearm problems from it. Again, it's also the possibility that, dude, I'm just getting old. People don't realize when they look at me, they see someone, oh, he's 24, he's 25. Dude, I'm 31, and my body's been through a lot. So that could just be a sign of, you know, aging. You know, I embrace it. I embrace it. PGM 21 was here. I don't know anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's on, like, it's literally because I somewhat take care good of myself. I still have a pretty decent metabolism for my age. But I've had, Lollyboy, I've had, I think last year when I was still coaching at this one small tennis club around my area, like after work, I was teaching like a group lesson of high school kids. And it was 4 courts. I think I was the No, sorry. It was 2 courts, and it was 8 kids, so 4 per court. And you know, that's a pretty good ratio. I'm an experienced tennis pro, part-time. I've taught a lot. But some of the parents that are new that haven't met me before, they were up in the balcony and they were like, okay, there's 9 kids on court. Where the hell is the pro? I was that 9th kid. Like, they didn't know I was a pro. I don't know if it's because of the way I dressed or the way I wore my hair or just, you know, the way they just had an initial impression of me. But yeah, I'm 31 and I get confused for being not maybe a high schooler, but like, you know, a sophomore, junior in college all the time. Like, if you take a look at the last match I had, you know, with Ridley, you know, 4-5 NTRP versus state champion, people are going to be saying, oh yeah, they're college teammates and I'm 12 years older than him. Like, I have literally been, let's see, 12, he's 18. I wouldn't say that I've been playing tennis longer than he's been alive. No, hold on. No, yeah, that is a true statement. I have been playing tennis longer than Ridley has been alive, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Oh yeah, I still owe him push-ups. Oh my god. I didn't do that. Damn it. Loco, good call, man. I'm thinking back in my memory of that week. Yeah, I didn't do the push-ups. And do you know why? It's because I played Alex like 2 or 3 hours later. That's why. And I had way too much Taco Bell in my stomach. Yeah, David Liu. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's no secret. For every bar I go to that, you know, I haven't been at before, or if there's a bartender that, you know, has never met me before, there is literally a 50 to 75% chance that they're going to ask for my ID, which is awesome. Apparently girls love that. They love getting their IDs checked because, you know, they think they look young. You know, I get it. That's one of those things I never understood about people getting mad when they're getting their ID. That's their job. That's the bartender's job. That is a grocery store's clerk's job to make sure you're of age. I never understood why people are flustered. Oh, this person is doing their job. Therefore, I have to be inconvenienced by taking out my wallet and doing what I actually have to do. I never understood that. I never understood. If that actually ever happened to me, if that ever happened to someone in front of me and that person in front of me starts like yelling at either a bartender or a grocery clerk, I will say, dude, shut your mouth, give that person your ID, or I will escort you out of this place. Like, I will legit do that. And I will tell you if that ever happens. So I'm not a good doubles player, Loco, but I am on a mixed team of, I think, 8-5. So that's like a 4-5 and a 4-0 because 4.5 plus 4 equals 8.5. And we actually did my team for mixed doubles, and Brian is on there too. And believe it or not, so is Chris, who played on my channel. So let me know if you guys want me to record like our journey in like in a vlog style. We did qualify for sectionals for 8-5 mixed doubles this year, and I believe we are playing. I gotta text my captain. I believe we are playing in late January, so like in a few months. No, sorry. It's late February. So in about 6 weeks. Do you guys want to be updated on my journey for possibly qualifying for 8-5 mixed doubles nationals, even though I'm more of a singles player? So David Liu, that is a very good question, right? It's the idea of, and David Liu's question is, do you hit it the same at the female as you would the male? That's what I'm assuming, what you're implying. The answer is it depends, right? So obviously, you want to win the tennis match, but also obviously, you don't want to look like an asshole, right? Because I had instances where the guy was just trying to peg the poor female at the net in mixed doubles, and no one was having a good time at all. So there's kind of let's see. Yeah, sure, I can do that, Logo. That's fine. I just gotta find my schedule. That's originally what my vlog is for qualifying for 4-5 singles nationals. But I kind of put that on hold because it wasn't getting as much traction as I thought it would, which is perfectly fine. But there's a chance that 4-5 nationals for singles might not even exist, given what's going on right now. But again, I'll talk about that in a bit. That's kind of what the title is. I will talk about that in a bit. Correct. Acing tennis, that is absolutely correct. At 4-5 or higher, you are, especially doubles, because you're, it's close quarters combat, you are assuming the risk of a sport of high pace, high spin, and some abnormalities happening. So for mixed doubles, the courtesy, right, is unless the female can really, really keep up, especially at the net, with really high pace shots, you really shouldn't be like going for the female specifically as the male. And this is, again, this is not sexist. This is just kind of things I picked up in mixed doubles as being originally a singles specialist. So before nationals, before qualifiers, I would even say, to get to nationals, so, regional slash sectionals, you typically want to hit to the guy as the guy, right? You want to have like, guy on guy thing, because you could really go all out without looking like a complete Chad, let's say. I wanted to use more flavorful words, but I probably shouldn't. But when it comes to nationals, when a lot of things are on the line, there are no rules. Go for it. But that's at the national level. That's my opinion for mixed doubles. And mixed doubles is kind of tricky because it's you can, just hold nothing back. But again, you're not going to have a good time. Not one of the 4 people on the court is going to have a good time if you have a John Isner just serving 135-mile-per-hour bombs at the female return on the other side. Right now, I think my UTR is an 8.9. At one point, it was like a 10.5, Ethan Ito. But I believe that 10.5 was before the number crunch that Oracle, who owns the UTR system, kind of like quietly implemented. Yeah, I have a lot of titles up my sleeve, Lolly Boy. Most of them are, smaller tournaments around the Milwaukee area. But I don't have any like major national titles, at least not yet. Hopefully I do. Knock on wood. Right? Yeah, if you're gonna do like, I'm not crazy just look. So if you want to like, do like a finesse passing shot that's like a low dipper to the female mixed doubles, go ahead. The thing that I'm just kind of warning you against, unless you're at like the national stage, is if you have a high sitting forehand, Loco, and both the male and the female opponents are at the net, you probably shouldn't aim it at the female because it's not a good image for you, for your team, and possibly later at the bar. I'm just saying. The actual Chad, who I'm assuming is not toxically masculine because he's actually a nice guy. What's up, man? How you doing? No, if you want to target the female, again, yeah, just do it in like finesse-y kind of way, or maybe even a lob. That's fine, but don't slap it at her tummy. Like that's not No one's gonna have a good time. Oh, absolutely. So Eric Wang's question is: Have I ever had a tennis injury, such as tennis elbow, wrist, or shoulder? Let's see. Tennis elbow, I'm kind of having right now, but it's not super severe. It's not tendonitis. It's just kind of like a soreness, and I just got to be very careful when warming up serves and overheads. So that's not an issue. Wrist, I never had a wrist injury except when I was in 6th grade. My left arm was shoved into a pole when I was running full speed at, I think it was like recess football, right? And I had to block it, otherwise it would have hit my face. The metal pole would have hit my face, so it was my left arm. So, you know, obviously it's my left arm. Even though I had a two-handed backhand back then, you know, it healed up perfectly fine. It was just a hairline fracture. And then my shoulder injury, I did have a shoulder injury in... trying to think. It was junior year winter break in college. I was snowboarding and my buddy landed on top of me and my shoulder kind of caved in a little bit, and I heard like 4 or 5 like cracks as it was like kind of caving in. But luckily, again, I was either 19 or 20 at the time, junior. No. It was my sophomore year. I apologize. Sophomore year of college. I just took 2 weeks off, and I was fine afterwards. Healed 100%. I have played. I'm not crazy, just loco. He's asking, have I ever played on grass or clay? My most preferred surface, and why? So I have played on grass. I've played on blue/American clay. I've never played on red clay. And I've obviously played on different types of hard court. I think I played on carpet, right? Carpet's garbage. Don't play on it unless that's your only choice. Grass, for me, I hate grass because you're slipping and sliding everywhere. It's disgusting. Hard court is obviously a normal American standard, given what I grew up with. And I love clay. I cannot wait to travel to Europe to play on red clay. But even the crappy American clay, the blue clay, the hard true clay we have in the Americas is perfectly fine. I would rather much play a singles match on blue clay than hard court, given my game style. You guys have seen me play. I'm definitely a clay courter. Lollyboy, I have no idea what a gangline cyst is, so you might want to consult your doctor. I am not a medical professional, nor am I claiming to be, so I apologize. To become a real top 1000 pro, have parents that are over 6 feet tall. See ya, bedroom puck. Yeah. Obviously, there's a system in place. So, Lollyboy, you're asking if Novak Djokovic deserves to be world number 1. Yeah. If he's world number 1 in the rankings, he deserves to be number 1. No doubt about it. I don't care if he's an idiot. I don't care if he can't add that 1 + 1 = 2. I don't care if he doesn't believe in vaccines, which I have been heavily critical on him for. Again, I'm not going to talk about politics, but I think he's an idiot. He's a freaking idiot. But the fact of the matter is, I judge singles success on the pro level by how many Grand Slams you have. And here's the thing. If he has 30 Grand Slams at the end of his career, and that is significantly more than Rafa or Roger, I would have no problem saying he's the greatest male singles player of all time. I just think he's freaking stupid. Simple as that. Jam, yeah, go for it if you feel comfortable. I mean, obviously that depends on your living situation of, you know, are there any people that are at risk of, you know, the current pandemic in your household? How comfortable do you feel? So yeah, I'd say go for it, man. I'm excited for you. There is such thing as a carpet surface Ethan Ito for specifically indoors in both the United States and Canada, from what I've seen. I played on both of them. What strings was I using against Ridley? I was using Solinco Hyper G 16, strong at 55 pounds on my Yonex Ezo 98. Oh, Zach Brown. So you live near Rhode Island. Awesome. I know exactly where you live now. I'm totally joking. But apparently, the pros that I've researched, they say that the Rhode Island Hall of Fame tennis tournament has better grass than Wimbledon, which is kind of sacrilegious, but pretty awesome at the same time. Yes, I played on one shell court in the Philippines, and it's kind of like a mix between hard court and clay. Rainier Tennis, it has never been free to me, in all honesty. Zach Brown, that is an easy one. If you're talking about singles, Stan has more Grand Slam singles titles than Del Potro. So, answer is obvious. Stan. I'm not crazy, just loco. You're asking, who do you think will win the next Grand Slam other than the top four? By top four, I mean Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, and let's say Andy Murray and Stan Wawrinka, right? So let's say top five. That's my top five because Andy Murray is probably going to retire. Who knows what he's doing right now other than drinking tea and, you know, saying God bless the Queen, because in my head, that's what all Brits and English people do. Dominic Thiem. I think Dominic Thiem will be the next one to win another Grand Slam, even though he already has one under his belt. Oh, yeah. I'm not crazy, just loco. You're asking if I would ever play MEP slash green shirt guy slash Ben from the tennis roll show? Absolutely. I would love that. You know how fun that would be? I mean, it'd be a nightmare. I have to drink a bottle of vodka afterwards, or if even during the match, given how it goes. But yeah, I would love to. Yeah, but Chad, like, here's the thing. A quantitative indicator has no emotion in it. It is a true objective measure of how good you are as a male professional tennis player in singles. Yeah, MAP is most exhausting tennis player. Yeah, I'm not crazy, just loco. I'm an IPA guy because I have literally no personality, and I'm from Wisconsin, and I'm kind of a hipster minus the mustache because Asians can't grow mustaches. But anything from Lakefront Brewery in Wisconsin, or even Milwaukee Brewing Company, again out of specifically Milwaukee, Wisconsin, are a fantastic choice. So it obviously depends on whether you like lighter beers, IPAs, lagers, you know, pale ales. So it really depends. But those are kind of like my go-tos right now. Yes, Ace Bins, I am. Your question is, you saw the Essential Tennis video with me for commentary. Yes, I do play Alex next. It's that same day, about 2.5, 3 hours later. Correct. Yeah, Lolly Boy. It's a 9 right now. And to be honest, if it wasn't for this pandemic, again, like it's not even an excuse at this point. It's because it's completely out of my control. I think my goal for this for the past 2020, especially during outdoor season and tournament season, was to get to a solid 10 UTR. And I would have gotten there. I think I had the right mindset. I had the right training. I had enough, I wouldn't say coaching, but I had enough hitting partners surrounding me. Because I really don't pay for tennis lessons. I just kind of like hit with people and say, hey, how about you hand feed me forehands, because my forehands are garbage for 15 minutes, and I'll work with you as a coach for 15 minutes. So it's kind of like, you know, a trade-off of like 15 minutes of coaching here, 15 minutes of coaching here, no cash exchange. Simple as that. Eric Wang, assuming that the client that wants me to string the racket, again, Eric Wang's question is, how much do I charge for rackets and how long does it take me? So if the person is supplying the tennis string, if the client is supplying the tennis string, I only charge $10 for my labor. And it takes me, assuming nothing crazy, like not a Prince racket, or the string isn't too rough, it's not too soft, it takes me 15 minutes to string a tennis racket. And there are people in the comment section that are saying, Mark, that is BS. And believe it or not, sometime in the near future, I will time it and I will release a video on me stringing a tennis racket. Oh my God. No, don't. Oh, my camera's damaged. There's like a blip in the pixel. Which isn't too bad. Is there really a blip in the pixel? No, that can't be a blip. Okay, it's not a blip. There's like this thing here. You guys see that red dot? Do you guys see that red dot on the screen? Okay. So it's not a blip. All right. Okay, I was scared that there was like a dead pixel on my camera, but it was just the indicator that my headphones, both my earbuds and my wireless headphones are charged. Okay, I was very scared. Oh yeah, it's definitely a pimple. My skin does not do well in dry weather because I'm Filipino and we should definitely be living near the equator. Okay, just thanks, guys. Yeah, so calling on, given, you know, again, the pandemic, I grew up in Rolling Meadows, Illinois, which is the northwest suburb of Chicago, about 15 minutes northwest of proper city of Chicago, assuming no traffic. So I do come by there from time to time, assuming no worldwide pandemic. So I haven't been down there recently, and I know Chicago is a little bit more locked down in terms of business and being open, because I do have friends that live in literally downtown Chicago. So when things open up, I will frequent Chicago quite a bit. I have a few subscribers that you know, follow me, and I'm in contact with constantly because I love them and they're awesome people, that I do want to grab coffee with them and play tennis with them sometime in Chicago. So yeah, my website is my YouTube channel, and I also have a LinkedIn, so go ahead. But I don't have like a personalized, like, you know, portfolio website. I haven't had the need nor time to be honest, at least not yet, maybe in the near future. Okay, so the thing I want to talk to you guys about is, so I did qualify for not 4-5, is it nationals? No, I already qualified through state out of a default, basically. So regionals, which is USA Midwest, that's happening. Oh no, I gotta get this right, guys. I'm sorry. Mixed double state is coming up sooner than I think. So regionals for 4-5 singles USTA is see, now I'm mad. Hey Google, turn on my office lights, please. All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick because the beer is hitting me. Okay, I'm checking my email right now. I don't want to show my screen because it does have some sensitive information on it. So for regional / sectionals for USTA 4-5, oh man, I wish I could show this to you guys. The 18 and over, which is obviously what I'm part of, the 18 and over is taking place in Northeast Ohio, which is the furthest thing that could possibly be away from me. So if any of you guys live in Northeast Ohio and want to house me for a weekend, I will more than happy to be, you know, paying you guys money because it's a pain. So if you guys live anywhere near Northeast Ohio, which I believe, where is Northeast Ohio? Man. Yes, I'm a typical American. I have no idea what my country looks like. Deal with it. It's like a kid's map. So if any of you guys live in Ohio, Pennsylvania, or West Virginia and want to house someone as crazy as me, please DM my Instagram or send me an email or send me a message, because I don't want to stay in a Hotel 6 for, 3 or 4 days. That aside, so I'm gonna read the email. I can't show it to you because I don't want to dox anybody. So the 18 and over is the 4th week in February of 2021 in Northeast Ohio. But the issue is, as of late December, there hasn't been an announcement of an indoor facility. So, assuming they could find an indoor facility, assuming it happens, given what's happening right now, it's going to be Northeast Ohio. So, like, I don't know if I would need to take a day or 2 off from work. I really hope not to. What I'm hoping happens is, because, again, I'm a software developer, I can work remotely. I just got to give my my team a heads up. I'm hoping that I could still work a 40-hour work week at this tennis tournament. And if I'm not playing tennis, I'm working to do my 40 hours and get my projects done. So that's what I'm hoping happens. Does Jake Paul live in that area? I don't follow him because I don't think he's a good human being, in all honesty. Chad, I normally play, again, not teaching, like play competitively or hit competitively or you know, train competitively for tennis. So I would say I play slash hit competitively for only about 6 hours a week during indoor season. And then I would work out probably an hour a day. So that includes cardio and lifting. And PGM 21 is giving me some good lifting tips. So thank you for PGM 21. So, you know, you put all those together and that's your number for normally playing, whether that's just playing on the court or just, and also including lifting altogether. Ethan Ito, it depends if you could drop another $200. I would suggest, again, your financial situation is different from mine. Again, that's why I made this channel, for you guys to be better consumers. But I would, if you could drop another $200, buy that crank, in my opinion. Summers, I am playing slash hitting competitively anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week. Just because the weather is nicer, I have a little bit more energy given more sunlight, more vitamin D. I have more people to play against because not everybody that I know has access to the same indoor tennis facilities that I do. See Acing Tennis. Guys, do me a favor and check out Acing Tennis. He's headed out right now, but he does a good vlog style type of tennis journey and a little bit of instructional tips for people around the 4.0 level. And you know, he's a pretty athletic guy, and after everything is all said and done with the pandemic, I do hope to visit Acing Tennis and play a few matches against him and kind of hit with him and give him some coaching and him give me some coaching as well. Assemble Brick, watch it. VCore 97 310 is a lot more playable than the 330 version, and it's almost just as good. Yeah, just watch it. Hell, skip to the end if you want. I suggest you watch the entire thing because that'd be great. But yeah. All right, guys, I need to get ready for my World of Warcraft raid because I'm the main tank, apparently. That's literally the most important position out of all the 25 people in my guild. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down in the section below. I would really appreciate if you guys hit like and then hit subscribe for more original tennis content such as this. I will have the tennis bag check hopefully up by tomorrow evening, if not Thursday late afternoon, and it's going to be a good one. I've been working with a buddy of mine out of South Carolina. His name's Chris. He owns his own tennis bag company, so I've been kind of inspecting and reviewing like the tennis bag, and I've been very, very happy with it so far from Chris. So it's been a very good experience so far, but a lot of people have been asking what's in my bag, and it's not surprising what's going to be in it, and some things are going to be surprising what's in it. So hopefully you guys check it out when it does release, but definitely appreciate you guys supporting me, and I would not be here without you. And thank you for, you know, for those of you that were at the premiere today and yesterday for the match play against Ridley, which was obviously a huge, huge success. So hit like if you haven't already, and if you guys really want to support this channel, share this for with people that you love that could benefit from this. It helps other YouTube content creators such as myself and Acing Tennis and Essential Tennis get a little bit more exposure in the world for you guys to get better original tennis content. And as always, happy hitting.